Olá, pessoal, aqui é o Eduardo, do The News. Vim contar quem tirei no amigo secreto de podcasters do TikTok. Foi o Beto Estrada, do Matando Robôs Gigantes. Escolhi de presente pra ele um livro maravilhoso, realista e com foco em questões sociais, que bombou no TikTok. Sabia que agora já tem até um musical dele? É o Torto Arado, do Itamar Vieira Júnior.
O TikTok esse ano fez milhões de pessoas voltarem a ler. Um simples TikTok pode gerar um grande impacto. Descubra livros incríveis e muito mais no TikTok.
Sair da escola já com uma formação profissional no currículo? Parece bom demais pra ser verdade, né? Pois é. No ensino técnico do Senac, isso é possível. É ensino médio junto com formação técnica, que acontece durante os 3 anos. Lá, eles usam metodologia para projetos, desenvolvendo competências como resolução de problemas, pensamento crítico e colaboração, além de valores éticos e sustentáveis. Quer saber? Senac. Acesse sp.senac.br/ensino médio e saiba mais.
But let's make John Catsimatidis happy because our next guest, John quotes often.
We always look to the sky. What the heck is going on up there? And every Sunday he's on with me at the Cats Roundtable. And his name is Steve Cates, otherwise known as Dr. Sky. He's on with Frank Morano at 1 o'clock in the morning. He's on, he'd like to be on more times at WABC, and we're going to see what's going to happen in the new year. Steve Cates, Dr. Sky, what the heck is going on up there? I understand that we have one of our satellites making an approach on the sun.
Yes, we do. Good morning. Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah to everybody.
Did we wake you up at 6:30 in the morning in Arizona?
No, I've been up since 5 o'clock in the morning. I got a lot of gifts to pack here, and I got to get moving on today because we got a big family celebration, as hope everybody does. But, John, you mentioned something interesting. The Parker Solar Probe is the most amazing and fastest object that humankind has ever sent out into space. What's happening today? It's going to come within 3.8 million miles of the sun. That may seem far, but can you imagine the temperatures? And even more important, it's moving at 435,000 miles an hour. That's like going from New York to Tokyo in like 1 minute. But, John, there's something else happening right now. On a lighter note, as we move into the Christmas season and Hanukkah, I'm tracking Santa right now, as people can do, of course, at NORADSanta.org. We do this every year.
All right, say that slowly. NORADSanta.org. And
right,
you can track Santa's approaching the planet Earth.
He is right now. He's the busiest guy, and I think this is amazing. Who's busier than John and Curtis? It's Santa. And right now, he's now over Korea. And get a load of this. He's delivered over 1.2 billion packages. He beats Amazon by light years. And this is an amazing little site that people of all ages, John, love to see. Just a light part of the holiday season here. And it's so amazing because those reindeer, when we talk about drones, we now talk about the fact that, of course, Santa has so many drones running up there, his reindeer, as we call them. And what's interesting is we find out that his sleigh, which is so powerful, we don't even know what the propulsion is. You have, of course, Dancer, Dasher, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen, and the most famous, the red-nosed reindeer, Rudolph, traveling all around the world. So, John, on a lighter note, we move on to the happy times. But in space, we have so many wonderful things coming up in 2025. And Frank Morano and I have a great show for folks listening early Christmas morning at 1 a.m., talking about the mysteries of the Christmas star and what that might have been. And a little tease is, we don't know the actual birth date of Jesus with any precision because of changes in the calendar. But on the date of April 17th, 6 BC, the wise men and other people saw an amazing event. The planet Jupiter was eclipsed by the moon. This went on for a period of time. And the great mystery of the birthplace of the Christ child and the story continues. What a wonderful time, John, to be alive and celebrate with family and friends and pray, and hopefully the new year is one of peace and happiness.
Now, Dr. Sky, you mentioned Santa delivering the presents with all the reindeer.
Yes.
1.2
billion
packages. You mean there's no strikes going on in the North Pole?
No strikes.
Just
Curtis up in the heavens.
What I'm concerned about is how many porch pirates have stolen those packages, like they have 60 million throughout the United States that have been delivered.
Yes, Curtis, you bring up a very interesting point. So everybody within the sound of WABC, as you say, 173 countries in all 50 states, get out there and check that porch because you never know what might be lying out there in your front door. A great time of the year.
So let's get back to the drones. New Jersey has been drone central. Have you yet been able to figure out whose drones are flying overhead? Because they are drones. And now we have some elected officials who are saying if the federal government won't deal with it, then we're going to order our law enforcement to shoot them out of the sky.
Well, Curtis, the latest on this, here we go with two sides of the story. I think, and this goes by me talking to so many different people in the defense industry, the strangest one are those drones that are seen over like Langley Air Force Base and the other military bases. More than likely, many assess that this is probably some foreign country doing this. But I certainly don't believe of an Iranian drone ship sitting off the Atlantic Ocean. But let's get closer to home. The original allegation was that there was some sort of sniffing signature, meaning the sensors on these particular aircraft that may have been in searching for some radiation signature. Now, we know this for a fact, and maybe nobody's talked about this. The Department of Energy has a team that regularly flies when there's a major event like Super Bowls and other big gatherings. They fly these helicopters. They're called the NEST team. And their purpose with helicopters, and who knows, maybe even drones, is to search out and look for that signature, a very important signature, if any radiation is out there, theoretically, not to alarm people. But we know for a fact that in Russia and Ukraine, there's been a number of missing man-pack-sized nuclear weapons. Now, I know this is Christmas Eve, but the reality is some of those man-pack nuclear weapons have the capability of doing about 5 to 10 kilotons of damage. So who knows? I mean, maybe it's
is
nothing,
that about a one square block area?
Probably more. Again, I don't know precision, but I can tell you this, that technology was developed in the 1950s. The military had this launcher system, like a grenade launcher, where they could fire this missile, which theoretically was, not theoretically, factually a nuclear weapon. So I'm saying this way, Curtis, to answer the question the best I can. Nobody knows for sure, but I'm confident that President Trump, which we know obviously has been given these briefings, at least in part, then hopefully he'll give us some kind of calming effect on this or tell us at least what the heck is going on. Because look at that. We have the inauguration coming up. We have so many big events happening. And obviously you folks know, being there in the, ground zero location, the financial center of the world is New York. So we obviously don't want to have another replication of something as horrific as 9/11. So I don't know that. But many of the people out there, really quick in closing, and again, I say this when I'm so proud to be on this radio station. I was born in New York and blah, blah, blah. But here we go. Many people do not have the skill set to go out and identify objects in the sky, and it's no fault of theirs. The point is, if I go out and I hear on the radio or television that there's something going on in the sky, many people who never really look at the nighttime sky can misidentify aircraft and helicopters as theoretical drones. Does that mean that no drones have been seen over people's homes? Certainly they have. So if we can sort out this mess, be better observers of the sky, which obviously people can do that, and I hope that our contributions here to the station at least advise people to what to see, as you and I, John, talk about all the time. There's so many wonderful things that are identified, and that goes to the same story of UFOs, because I would say that there's probably about 3% of all UFOs that are really, truly unexplainable. And the other part, the bigger number, is simply things that get misidentified, like Venus, other aircraft, and other things in the sky. And many, right, John, Earth satellites, low Earth orbit is just so polluted. So we have a good mission here to go out and help identify these. But Curtis, I wonder, those are my two theories. Again, totally unfounded, no factual information, just a theory, and hopefully we'll get answers.
Now, I saw the video of that satellite approaching the sun.
Yes.
It was unbelievable.
It is. And think about this. This is so incredible. How do you protect electronic packages? I was in the military and space, electronic industry for years. And what we did, we would radiation harden these boards, like computer boards on spacecraft, so that you could do operations in space and not have the thing fry. So what this thing has, it has this big, almost looking like a piece of solid rock in the front, one of the most, sophisticated heat shields that's ever been made. But when you get that close to the sun, remember, the surface of the sun is 12,000 degrees Fahrenheit. And, John, where this particular Parker Solar Probe is right now, it's moving through the outer sun's atmosphere called the corona. So it's amazing if this thing even survives. But can you imagine going faster than Santa's sleigh We're going 435,000 miles an hour, like I said before, New York to Tokyo in 60 seconds. So we hope the spacecraft survives. What's it doing? It's analyzing what we don't know about the sun. Why is the outer atmosphere of the sun millions of degrees when the surface of the sun is only 12,000?
Kevin Drosch in the control room, maybe we could get a copy of that video that NASA put out of the sun and put it on the WABC website, and all our listeners can go to WABCradio.com and see it a little later.
That'd be awesome.
Yes. It was an awesome scene. Awesome. And Steve Cates, what are you doing for Christmas?
Well, we're going to go with family. We have a lot of relatives here, and we're certainly going to do. I don't do any cooking this particular year. It's not my turn. But others are going to do that, and it's nice to relax and be with family. And obviously, everybody listening, what do we say, John? We mean it. We wish for health, happiness, and peace in the year 2025. Great opportunities to expand our minds, and I appreciate you and your family and Margot for having me as part of your radio station. Again, it's a dream come true for me, born in Jamaica, Queens, in a hospital, I think, very close to where Donald Trump was born. I was born in a hospital, at least that's what my mother told me, called Mary Immaculate Hospital, and lived a good portion of my life, moving from the Rockaway Beach area all the way to Ozone Park, Jackson Heights, and then New Jersey. And now out here, expanding our minds, as you tell us, and give me credit for. So I appreciate that.
Well, thank you, Steve Cates, and we'll catch up with you again real soon.
Merry Christmas. Happy Hanukkah.
Christmas.